Welcome back to Kawasakiville. Welcome back to Totally Quackers. And don't you just love it when everything you did that worked? Yes, I love it when you come back to a project the next day and everything that you did the day before doesn't work anymore. What's going on? You may remember my excitement at getting all the headlights working. Not anymore. What the? Oh well, back to the drawing board. Check the fuses, they're okay. Nobody's touched anything overnight. I don't think. Yes, just a loose wire. There's a few of them. So no, the sky hasn't gone out. Next up is the GPS Speedo, and as you can see, I've got a slightly different version this time. My concern is that's the kind of sensor, signal, receiver, whatever. And obviously it's designed to sit on a dashboard at a different angle from that. So I think what I'm going to have to do is throw it in the FJ and play around with that said receiver and see what happens. See what kind of signal it needs and when it cuts out. Because even that isn't an optimal kind of angle. Probably want it more like that. In which case that receiver is way down there somewhere. We got a helper. Tried and tested in the FJ at that kind of angle, and once it got a connection it seemed to be fine, even though it was on kilometers an hour, which was a bit confusing. So now all we have to do is work out where and how we're going to fit it on the forks somewhere. We are wired for speed, and by that I mean this. Yay! Now we've got to mount it, which of course means taking it apart, and that looks like it's going to be hell's own game to put it back together again. So we're not going to mount it here as we thought we might. We're going to mount it here as we thought we might. Just a little bracket on there, that in the base there, and reassemble, hopefully. And there we have it. And despite being pratted, it's still working. Amazing. A little bit of a fiddle to reassemble it. Trick was to get the bottom in first. No, top. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, got there in the end. Now, of course, for that to be of any damn use whatsoever, we need to get the thing running, don't we? Oh yeah, and the brake lights. Can't seem to get them working. Don't know why. Bit of adjustment with a large screwdriver, and I think we've got the perfect angle. And work out how to set it to MPH, not KPH. What is the matter with the Chinese? Have they no respect for imperial measurements? After all, they're imperial, aren't they? Right, well, I'm ignoring that. I think I've established is that this blue wire that is supposed to go all the way back to the brake light kind of doesn't. Brown wire doesn't have any power, which I think it should. This brown and white one does, and we're not using it for anything else yet. And by rigging it up a little Heath Robinson style, we worked out that the switch itself works perfectly, as one would expect, because it's brand new. We're going to abandon the blue wire and run a new wire all the way back to the brake light. We'll keep it blue, because we can. We shall also abandon the rear pedal switch. We shall remove it, adding lightness. That kind of lightness, the other one. So I've fit it along with the Speedo power and USB cable. Seeing as we've already got that going down here. And then I'm going to feed it into this wrap that I've got going on already out to the back end. There. Once we've finished all this malarkey, we'll put that in a sheath as well. Taking that off, I've unravelled the original factory stuff, because what we need is basically the yellow and black, which is the earth, the red, which is the main running light, and then our new blue. So what I've done is cut the others down here, and then we'll run our new blue. Running light, brake light, redundant and shortly on eBay. All that leaves is the starter motor, in theory. Although I'm still a little bit worried about my petcock, if you'll excuse my French. And of course just doing this for real and tidying it all up, putting in proper connections rather than those test jobs. Also on the tail end of things, we got these bloody stupid tiny little wires, so I'm actually gonna, because we've got to be able to disconnect and reconnect. I'm required to take the seat off to get to the battery, etc. So what I'm going to do is meld some semi-adult wiring to these ridiculously small wires to give me half a chance to put these kind of connectors on. And for that we're going to be using these. Right, well that didn't go well, so I'm going to try and solder them first, and I'm not really good at this, so I'm not going to film it. I'm bad enough with 2 hands, let alone 1. This is a bit like welding for beginners, which is why I don't want to try welding. The second one was a lot better. Alrighty, vaguely happy with that. All seems to work. I think I'm going to bung one of these over just for good measure. Sadly the little white guys don't fit. Well, it's not pretty, but it works. I've tested it again, and I'm going to wrap that up with some tape like so, and then give it one final test. All good. So black's the earth, red's the brake light, white's the running light. We've got a female for the earth, a bullet for the running light, and a male for the brake light. Just so you don't plug the wrong thing into the wrong thing, unless you get the plugs wrong. So while I've still got that in my head, let me finish that off. Let's just test that out for real. Ready? Running light, brake light. Sweet. Cool. So we have brake lights, and off the front lever only, not the back pedal, which is kind of cool actually, because that means you can dab off a little bit of speed if you need to, without putting the brake light on. But don't tell Officer Dibble. They've arrived, and some more of those. How many crimpers does one man need? I actually bought them for the Honda project because some of the original plugs are a little bit snotty. Yes, not as well cared for as the Kawasaki. Anyway, first off, I'm actually going to test it out on the Kawasaki. Specifically on the tail light, because the tail light is attached to the seat, so it will be on and off quite a lot. And at the moment I've got it wired like so, with one bullet and just some male and female doofers. But I thought it would be nicer if we had a proper switch plug thing. I've got to say, this is remarkable value. You can see how many we've got there. 8 sets of this, that and the other, blah 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 blah. And these for 35 bucks. Pretty amazing. Well, I was going to just tack this on the end. It turned out to be quite the episode all by itself. I love these connectors because they are really easy to connect and disconnect once you've installed the wiring. I've never tried to do that before, and although they come with operating instructions, it's quite a palaver. So do tune into that for that fun and games. Meanwhile, I think we'll call it a day on the Quacker and resume play with a new seat plug, hopefully. So thanks as always for tuning in and watching. If you thought the video was any good, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere. and encourage others to watch my lunacy.